Today we're gonna take a tank and stick a bunch of weapons on it. We'll probably need a bigger tank though, if we're gonna mount a big boy like this. Now, anyone who's familiar with my channel will know that I enjoy making Lego contraptions that shoot, especially using electronics, and air pressure using Lego pneumatics. And sometimes ketchup.
Oh god.
But today, I want to level things up a bit by creating some different weapons that I can mount onto a massive Lego tank. And we'll start with a repeating metal disc shooter powered by elastic bands.
Whoops.
Now as you can see, elastic bands by themselves are a little weak, but we can level up by adding a little metal weight. This definitely packs more of a punch.
That's better.
And this is only using one elastic band. The repeating mechanism will need some arms to hold the bands in place and to act as a ratchet. And then this L piece will form our lock for the ratchet, and it's held shut with an elastic band. Now we can pull it back to mount our rounds, and it won't allow the mechanism to release until we pull the trigger. Then we'll need a barrel, and we can secure the whole thing like so. Finally, we'll need a motor to turn this thing into a rapid-fire revolver of sorts. Okay, first let's see if the mechanism actually works. Yup. So let's load up a few more bands. Then, if we flick the trigger mechanism, it should release the bands one by one. Now let's add an arm to our motor so that the motor can do the work for us. Now if I activate the motor,
Whoops.
we get a rapid fire mode. So let's use our metal discs and double up on our elastic bands. We'll start with just a few of these loaded to see how they perform.
Holy
But now we're gonna need a big chunky tank to host our weapons for these experiments. And of course a big tank is gonna need some serious treads. I'm reusing this large tank chassis from a previous project as it's incredibly stable, and it'll allow us to mount some ridiculous stuff to it. Okay, drivetrain works fine. Rotation works as well. Then to allow us to aim our weapons up and down on the tank, we'll need a mount that can tilt up and down. This bed here will be lifted up and down by a linear actuator, which we can hook up to one of our motors to drive it from our controller. After securing it a little, let's give her a quick test. That's some good tilting action. And when we pop our turret on top of this, now we can aim up and down. So let's put her to the test by elevating this can, so that our turret has to work for it.
Hey!
Right, now it's tank time. Now we can drive, rotate, aim up and down, and fire. And if I was more coordinated, we could do all four at once. Now, before we put this monstrosity through its paces, I'm delighted to announce that this video is sponsored by War Thunder. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game out there, including 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships from 10 major nations spanning the 1920s to modern day. With a worldwide community of over 70 million players competing in epic PvP battles, and you should download it right now for free, either on PC or consoles. Now, as you can probably tell from my videos, the destruction nerd in me just loves the detailed physics and destruction simulation they've modeled for each component of each vehicle. Every vehicle part reacts realistically to the thumping hits, creating stunning sound effects. And the impressive X-ray view lets you see exactly which parts you wrecked and how. This is a blast, both literally and figuratively. So if you're into realistic destruction simulations and tactical gameplay, I'd highly recommend giving this a try. You can play War Thunder on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox for free. And if you use my link in the description, new and returning players who haven't played in 6 months will also get a massive bonus pack with multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive Eagle of Valor vehicle decorator, 100,000 silver lions, and 7 days of premium account time. Now this offer is only available for a short time, so jump on it. And now, let's see if we can manage some destruction of our own, starting with testing our new repeating elastic band disc shooter.
Hey!
The weight these discs add certainly gives us some reasonable punching power. I'm actually really happy with how this basic shooter performs. Even from across the room, once we get the aiming dialed in, bam! Not bad. It's not gonna hurt anyone, but it's perfect for a bit of indoor plinking. But you know what? I think we can get some better range using a different technique.
Alright, you've probably seen people throwing cards before. Now I have no idea how to do this, but let's give this a try. Nope. Nope. Hey. Alright, well that was an entire pack, and clearly I suck.
But I'm sure Lego can do a much better job. If we spin one of these large Lego wheels extremely fast, I think we should be able to chuck cards like a frisbee at some pretty good speeds.
Alright.
Yep, well, this sure is speedy.
Okay, what if we pop this guy here, and then rev this guy up? Oh shit. Whoa! I wonder, can it penetrate? Okay, so these are cool, but how about these? These are metal cards, and each one is like a little razor. So how will these metal cards fare against the paper cards? Ooh. Alright, I think we're onto something here. Interesting little skid mark. Whoa, it's quite deep.
Now, let's see if we can make a little feeder for our cards. I want to offset the wheel so that the cards can spin. I'm going to make a little conveyor belt for our cards using some elastic bands that will push the cards towards the spinning wheel.
Question now is, how do you stop all of these being fed at once?
Now, hopefully this will allow us to adjust the height that we need to feed one card at a time. And then we'll need a motor to drive the conveyor belt.
Alright, let's give it a quick try with some regular playing cards. Now all we have to do is pop this guy on top.
Nice, this seems like some good speed.
Alright, let's use a little bit of blue tack so it doesn't go anywhere. Let me give her some ammo. Alright, let's give her a try.
Hell yeah, I'm super happy with these sketchy little frisbees.
Okay, but now the real question is, can a regular paper playing card slice a banana? Yeah, I'm a little bit scared here. There's a bit of a slice, but not too much. Yeah, 2 slices, not really doing much. So, how about we try our metal card?
Okay, I'm using an apple now because I got hungry and I ate the banana.
Whoa! That is a chunk!
But it seems like the metal cards of course perform quite nicely with an apple. So time to pop this danger frisbee on top of the tank. And for target practice, we'll pop some of our volunteers on top of this tractor. Let's see how accurate this turret is from halfway across the room. Yeah, it's kinda consistent, but it does need a bit of adjustment of the aim to actually hit our targets. I've gotta say, this one is a hell of a lot of fun to do drive-bys. And it's really satisfying to only have to reload after around 50 shots. This is one of the more fun weapons I made for this tank, and I think actually worth making yourself at home.
Some of these cards made it way across the room.
But next, let's try a pretty unconventional weapon. Now this here is a handheld Tesla coil, and all the internals are housed in this perspex box, and when I press the trigger it spews out violent lightning bolts at hundreds of thousands if not millions of volts, creating these beautiful little arcs. And we'll see what this can do in just a minute. While building, I actually got super lucky here.
Whoa, what? These two screw heads fit perfectly in the Technic holes, both here, and all four of those line up perfectly with these. It's a perfect fit. What a stroke of luck.
After securing a basic motor and a clutch gear to control the trigger, now we can activate the trigger on the Tesla coil gun. Now at this point, I'm just hoping the EM field doesn't interfere with the electronics of the tank.
Now, because this thing is a Tesla coil, it does need a connection to ground. And normally this gun achieves it by using this conductive grip here, which uses U as ground. So for this tank, I'm going to use some wire here and wrap it around this tape, and then let the other end trail on the ground. You can see this exposed wire here trailing on the ground.
Okay, let's give her a whirl. Now, the lightning isn't quite as violent as when I hold it in my hand, but it's still working reasonably well. The pops and bangs it makes really are quite loud.
Now interestingly enough, the EM field also excites these LEDs on this board here.
Even from a distance, the powerful EM field is enough to excite this board of LEDs.
Ow.
And when the arcs make contact, they light up like a Christmas tree.
Ow.
But they also zap my hand a little.
Alright, that's enough.
So I guess I'm not really sure what exactly we're weaponizing with this Tesla coil mount. But in the future, I'd quite like to try squirting salty water to see if I can extend the range of the electrical arcs. Now, another fun thing these powerful EM fields can do is excite glass vials of inert gas.
This one is helium. This one is neon. And this one is krypton. And this is a banana.
Alright, now time for the big boy. If you'd like to see how I built this coil gun, you can watch my recent full-length video. Now some folks reckoned it wasn't the safest contraption, but I figured putting it on a tank has gotta improve safety, right? I mean, I don't have to be anywhere near it while the trigger's being pulled. Now first, let me just check that it actually works.
Now all I gotta do is press this little button. Woof!
Yup, yeah, it works.
Well, that's scary. That went through both sides.
So let's put this absolute monstrosity through its paces.
Woof!
From now, I'm gonna let the tank handle the firing so I can keep myself nice and safe.
Well, we certainly got some good penetration.
I've gotta say, this thing is remarkably robust. Aiming is easy, shots are consistent, and it's got enough power to keep my home nice and safe
Yikes.
from home intruders. Now, I will admit, this thing is a little slow and very bulky, but it's clearly needed to mount such a large beast.
Whoa!
It also still requires manual reloading, but I'd quite like to experiment with a more compact reloading mechanism using one of these beefy capacitors.
Very nice. Not a bad little hole.
And what is the range like on this thing?
Whoa!
Well, it's a large, hefty round, but even at 15 grams, it comfortably reaches across the apartment without much of an upwards angle needed. By the way, if you like these experiments with Lego and technology, please feel free to like or subscribe. Cheers! This thing is definitely one of my more ridiculous inventions, and for helping me to scale up my inventions, I'd like to extend a big thanks to War Thunder. Use my link below to check out War Thunder now for free on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. And if you're new or returning after 6 months, you'll get a massive bonus pack with premium vehicles, 100,000 silver lions, and 7 days of premium account time. It's available for a limited time, so jump on it. And I'll see you in the next one.